All right, everybody. So today we're here with my student John, and we're going to go through his journey, and he's going to tell us a bit more about who he is, his journey when it comes to quitting porn, what really helped him quit, how his life changed, and so on. So, John, if you can tell us a bit more about your journey before quitting, before coming into the program.
Yeah, so my name's John. Recently turned 38. The first time I was dealing with PMO was 12 or 13, so a pretty large chunk of life. I came on board with the Effortless method, and immediately from the get-go, you could tell it was very different. Because by that time, I don't know the exact number of ebooks and courses, but it'd be like a fair number. 4 or 5 different ebooks, probably all the ones that most people have heard of in the quitting space. Like the name's escaping me right now, but it's taken from Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit, Easy Peasy.
Yeah, easy peasy. Yeah.
So that was a big holy grail one. Like, if you read this, this is it. Like, it's done. Because I used to smoke cigarettes, and I had used Alan Carr's Easy Way to Quit Smoking, and like I did it successfully. So when I got the Easy Peasy ebook, it was like saying that the same thing. But again, it didn't work for me. From memory, maybe it worked for a couple of days, and then it didn't. So it was like Effortless method was the thing that struck me the most was just the complete opposite that it was to all of these other things, or like what I was saying before about these very surface level like these very surface level courses, or like maybe like an ebook or something that you get. They will just say, most of the, from my experience, a lot of them will like all kind of said the same thing, pretty much lifted from the NoFap. I think it might have even been called like the NoFap 10 Commandments or something, and it was like download app blockers, accountability partners, streak counting, put your phone
Yeah, the
away. So
basic
just
stuff.
just like all stuff that is like sort of a reactive approach rather than a proactive. Is just like oh, put your phone away in a different room when you go to bed at night. And I was like, well, it's like that's so easy to get around, is that you just don't do it. And like an app blocker, like I got app blockers, and all I did every time was I would just uninstall them. So like, yeah. So the Effortless method was, there's going to be no judgment at all if you do. Do you remember? I can't remember, but that was like the sort of the feeling I got from coming on board with the Effortless method was it's okay. Like, it's not like you're not broken. You're not this broken addict. Like here's all the stuff that you've been told. So yeah.
How does it feel to be able to have those conversations, in a sense of, I'm here to just help you, and I'm not here to criticize you, and we can just have like an honest conversation, because this is essentially what the one-on-one coaching is about for a big part of it.
Yeah, it was definitely, it felt a lot more what's the word? Well, for example, you're the first person I'd actually talked to who had been through the same thing, and so like whichever like situation that someone has gone through, they will always be able to relate easier with someone who's been through it as well, rather than and just to note on that, before I'd talked to you, I talked to a GP, so like a general practitioner, 2 general practitioners actually. The first general practitioner put me onto just a general psychologist, and the same thing. And it was also like a female psychologist. Not saying like anything bad about that. It was hard to really like come out like from hiding. Not if that's saying it right, but like be totally open and honest with a female psychologist about my
Yeah.
issues with PMO. With like someone like she's a psychologist, like she's not wasn't even a sexual health expert or it was just like just a normal psychologist. So that didn't go very far. Like we were sort of like we spoke about it, but yeah, it didn't go very far. And then spoke to there's two two general practitioners, two psychologists who both didn't really. I didn't get a whole lot of help from because they hadn't dealt with it. It must like hadn't dealt with someone coming to them with PMO, like to help them with. I've got these issues with PMO. Can you help me? And they didn't really know how to deal with it, so that didn't go very far. And then came and worked with you, and having gone through all of it, gone through everything as well. There's definitely a lot more freeing, being like more open and honest about it, and that was like very there's like a relief being able to talk to someone who's been through the exact same thing.
Now that you decided to leave porn, what would you say that's like what changed? Like how's basically your life after that?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is just the time gotten back.
Yeah.
There was an exercise at the start coming on board with the Effortless method, and it was kind of like a scary realization. And it was like an equation, like time. I can't remember exactly how it was, but it was like time, how much, like say, even just like a very conservative number, just say like 1 hour, and like times by like 300, or how many days a year times how many years you've been doing it. And yeah, it was like a very like stark, like a confronting number, and you think like all that time gone to do something that you don't even get anything like positive out of in the last week. It occurred to me the mental energy and not as like mental energy, but mental drive, like the volition to do things that you always oh, it's the end of the day, I didn't get it done, I'll just do it tomorrow. And then the same thing, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week. Okay, by the end of the next week I'll have this done. Where now it's like these reserves of mental energy from wherever, well, because you're not just wasting it like on doing
Yeah.
the brain training thing. So yeah, that just occurred to me the other week, like, oh wow, like I ticked all these things off, and I actually for a personal example of that, yeah, just like a general like a sense of confidence as well. It just like I don't need that stuff, and just like I think like a general confidence maybe comes around from being such a contrast from in your in your deepest rut, like to deepest rut as in like using PMO, like whatever your personal deepest rut was, like I just completely like binge out for what's the point? I'll just binge out for day in day out, to now like years later where it barely even enters your mind, and then when it does, it's not like you don't care. It's like
Yeah.
it's one of those things that you think like, oh, I wish I could be like one of those people, like I could never imagine being like that. Like when you're in the deepest rut of just like day in day out binging, and then you just like when you're not binging, you're just thinking about the next binge, to fast forwarding into the future to being like the person that you are now, and back then never imagining that you could be like that. Yeah, it's a definite big yeah self confidence and self love. Like well, there's nothing but benefits to to quitting when you're in a marriage. You can't be 100% present in your marriage or relationship um, if you're doing stuff if you're using PMO. So quitting PMO personally has that's what made me more definitely more open, more close with my wife. We are a lot closer, a lot happier, a lot more playful. Um, and probably the absolute hardest thing was telling her, like being honest, and got this after years of hiding it. So it's like a painful process to go through, but that's like the best thing to do, because being honest with her about it, and then her being on board with, her knowing, that I'm like doing this work to quit, and like this course, and going on board with the Effortless method, and her support the whole time. It's been amazing. And it's definitely because you're not carrying this weight of like secrecy and guilt, and of like shame about it. It's definitely been positive. Definitely just makes you
Yeah.
feel more open and honest, because you are being more open and honest. Definitely feel lighter. Yeah.
I want to ask you now, John, when it comes to the program, what were some of the doubts that you had before joining? Because for a lot of people, for example, they tried everything, and that's the case for you also. It's like you tried so many different things. You tried the courses. You tried to put your phone outside of your bedroom. You tried pretty much anything, from NoFap to neuroscience. What were some of these doubts that you had before joining the coaching?
Especially in regards to the easy peasy method, just because there's a lot of law around it in the NoFap community. I think it usually comes up in like the first thing, or one of the first things that you have to do, or should do in the NoFap community. And I think I haven't actually done it myself, but I mean, back then, if you would type in something like quit porn, it was probably one of the first like PDFs that would come up. Probably
Yeah.
still is. So having done all those things and then not worked, was that like a debt to get over, get past.
When it comes to the coaching program, what would you say was like your favorite part about it, about the coaching process and so on?
Part was actually the one-on-one coaching, just because you would get the immediate back-to-back feedback, or
Mm.
if you had an immediate problem during the week, because when I came on board with Effortless Method, sort of had like like an excited launch into Effortless Method. Like, oh wow, this is so great, this is awesome, and everything. Like, it's everything. Like, oh well, it's completely opposite to what you think it would be. And so you're just having and then having but I think we started off weekly, and then went to fortnightly, and then monthly calls. Just obviously there was some uncomfortable, like some difficult stuff initially, like a first couple of calls, because of the nature of the Effortless Method and the nature of the issue. Now you're actually talking to someone, and being and I said to myself, at the start of the course, I've signed on to do this course, I may as well be completely open and honest about everything. And you asked very like questions that hadn't that I hadn't been asked before. And because hadn't been asked, well, hadn't thought about the answers to them. But that was very, very enlightening, very eye-opening. At the same time, confronting. Just
Yeah.
like, just like you're asking a question, and then this is the first time that you've ever had to think about it. So, it's like, why do you look at this particular genre? And it's it just sort of like stuns you for a little bit, because you just say, oh wow, I've never.
Yeah.
Well, just because. And like, well, why because? Well, because X. And well, what does X mean? And you just keep going, and then you just sort of, it's like shining a magnifying glass on your soul, like your deepest, darkest. And yeah, so that was very yeah, like confronting but good, enlightening. Very confronting is not the right word. Very just yeah, just doing something for the first time, like uncomfortable, maybe not
Yeah.
just being able to talking to you, open and honest conversation,